friend, and you are one. Let me see what I can do. It's a little tricky because the studio I used to have in London is no longer have it here in Croatia. So things are being adapted to the practice as time gives the possibility. But, okay. Hello everyone, and I believe this is a hard quality enough. Okay, now, okay. Hello everybody. If you have any questions, please do drop a message in the chat. We will continue talking about it, and hopefully we find something very interesting for you today, and that actually can be useful in our day-to-day life. Okay, everybody, and here we go. Namaste, everyone. Hello, everyone at Zoom. Namaste, first of all, and namaste, everybody at YouTube. Thank you, and I am only here. So, I don't know how clear visibility I am on YouTube. Maybe look like very dark. Does anybody on YouTube can give me a thumbs up? It's not really pitch black dark visibility. Okay. Hello everybody at Zoom as well. Let me see what else I can do with the lighting. Okay, there's need to be a little edit on YouTube, by the way, in the end. Thank you everybody for a little patience with my technical, what do you call it, task. Hello, Mary, good to see you. I have a few questions. I think last night somebody asked, but beyond that, I will start today. How to be spiritual, you know? How to be spiritual is a very good topic. Somebody asked a question, you know. Is always a quite intrigued by that point, how we see ourselves, spirituality or what the spirituality is, and you start being spiritual, and sometimes there's several ways as people are. Most of the time you start a journey, aspiration. You're inspired by something and you want to be something because you like it. It can change lots of things for you. But it's like you go, but you actually never become a spiritual. But you're just watching spiritual people, but being part of it, but never actually transformed yourself. Like that's basically join a cult. Join a cult. You have not adapted, developed, grown, or transformed yourself, but you became part of an organization, a relationship, relatability, where your mind can say in public, I am part of that organization, I am part of that movement, I am part of that culture, like basically a company even. You have nothing in the company, but you just start living by the law of the company culture. Same structure applied to a spiritual organization. But those organizations or religion, you can call it, I guarantee you, if you are a Christian, you are not really a Christian. You follow Christianity. You are a Buddhist. Deep down, I'm sure you are not 100%. Your aim is not to attain the Buddhahood. My aim is to follow Buddha. Change the concept. If you are part of a yoga practice, you not to develop the yogi sattva, the essence of yoga inside you, but to just follow. And always creating a internal lack, internal inner battle, that something that needs to be something other than what you are. So the inquest always continue. Your inquest always continue to be something other than what you already are. But yoga is never teaches that. Yoga teaches that whatever you are, as it is, accept it, you are the whole. There is no lack in you. Despite you may chant the mantra that I am absolute truth or I am whole, but never actually live it, never actually accept it, never actually even feel it inside. So there's several categories of spiritual people. I came to this same categories of material people to know. Some people materially they never like themselves to be materially well, but they like to know some material people. They can talk about it, or they like somebody else's material wealth can actually enhance them. I'm giving material example, and or they have a friends who are really wealthy. They may never talk, they never have themselves, but they talk about their friends how wealthy they are. It doesn't really change you. How wealthy somebody is, it has a zero contribution to your existence. Same way, how spiritually well somebody might be, how spiritually developed somebody might be, how evolved somebody might be, you are even in the presence of that being, not going to help you till you start transforming yourself. I give you a story. The Buddha's brother Ananda never became a Buddha. Why? Despite he living 24/7 Buddha. There's similarly if you read Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna and Krishna played together in childhood. They grew up together. But Krishna never transformed his attachment of fear or lack of understanding of existence. At the time of the battlefield, he again became a Kinkartabhibhur, means like an uncertain about life, uncertain about his actions, uncertain about his ability to do what actually needs to be done about the karma. So, if you are a person of spirituality path, looking at a spiritual people or being a spiritual organization, but do not want to work anything on yourself. If you do not want to work on yourself, but you just love yourself surrounded by spiritual people, it is the same thing. You're still thirsty, but despite standing on the beautiful river bank, there is plenty of water, but you are still thirsty. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if your thirst only can be satisfied at that time, you start drinking water. The day you start becoming spiritual or seeing how, not just only being with spiritual people, but how you can be spiritual, how actually you can take the nectar or understanding of those spiritual people into your life and to implement it. You can actually hang out day in, day out with somebody. It is just like somebody who driving what do you call it? I don't really like to call the massive car names. Like say the top brand car. Somebody who's, you are just a driver of it. You are not owner of it. The only way you can be when you start transforming yourself. Create that possibility. Second spiritual people is you go all the practices, participate all of them, but nothing goes inside you. Just a ritual aspect of it. Like you practice yoga every day, but never understand yoga. There's lots of yoga people. They practice yoga, but never actually understand meaning of yoga. The day yoga should teach you to acceptance, not the limitation or the lack inside you, or self-judgment. Yoga is not about self-judgment. But when you want a yoga mat, you're judging yourself with somebody else who's next to you, or that posture that you are not capable of doing. You miss the point of yoga. Yoga is supposed to be unity with yourself in given circumstances as you are developing the bhakti, developing the love, developing the self-awareness, and in total acceptance of yourself. But that doesn't happen the case. You practice it, but nothing actually get inside you. It just become either you are running, going constantly every day like hamster in the wind, but goes nowhere. Cycle continues. That is another type of spirituality. What spirituality is? You dive in and drop as much as you can. No expectation. The day you drop the expectation and dive into the practice, and doesn't matter how much you spiritually you become, is irrelevant. How much you cannot measure your spirituality 1 to 10. Only what do you call it? There is no ranking in spirituality, basically. Say I am only 5 out of 10 I'm spiritual. I was talking to somebody today, it's a very dear friend of mine. He said, I'm already half brahmachari. At my age, I also 75% become a brahmachari. I was quite laughing actually. I said, what do you mean you are half brahmachari? Or now with age, you become a 70-year-old, you become either 75% brahmachari. So what is that 25%? So basically it's not. So sometimes the mind starts measuring things in a ranking. In spirituality, there is no such scale. It's black and white. Either you are or you are not. There is no gray space. If you are in the gray space, you are in a more worse place. At least when you are not spiritual, you know that you are not spiritual. And when you are in gray space, you have no idea. You are neither spiritual or not material. You are middle of limbo. And that is the most dangerous place to be. Because you are uncertain, undecided, not even clear about your own existence. So, spirituality is not a running away. Remember that. Sometimes I find definition of spirituality like your spirit. You are connected in each moment with your spirit. 100%. Your spirit is connected with your senses, and you are living your spirit through your senses fully with zero doubt. zero lack, or not even questioning it. If there is a moment, there is a doubt, uncertainty, means you are not living fully. There is a lack, means your spirit is not vibrating fully. There is somewhere you are suppressing yourself. There is somewhere you are limiting yourself. You are not allowing yourself to be abundance. That's what spirit means. When you feel abundance, you start flowing. There is wall, which your senses are limited. You are not spiritual. How does that apply to the practices? You can practice any what do you call it? Spiritual practices till you really immerse into it. You really stop judging the practices. It is not fruitful. It is not going to be fruitful. It only becomes fruitful when your mind drops the doubt. Never mind doubting yourself. You start doubting the practices too. How it actually supposed to transform you. Not really. So, you want to become a spiritual? Enlightenment can happen any moment. Most of the time, enlightenment is happening even right now. The problem is you are not available to it. You are not available to experience the enlightenment. Entire yoga, meditation, pranayama, or any spiritual practices you are doing, all you are doing, making yourself available to experience who you are. If you miss the availability, even the most beautiful experience happened in your existence, you missed it because you were not available. You were busy creating something different. You're busy chasing something different. So start practicing availability. Availability with a full awareness and total alertness to all of your senses. You can experience so much that actually try to fix yourself to achieve something. Remain raw in your practice. Most of the time, when you practice, do you practice something that is you have read, heard, somebody told you, or somebody else have experienced it, you have seen it? Those things actually you only practice. There is nothing new in you. There is absolutely nothing new taking place in you. Because you are busy repeating. You are busy repeating. If you are not busy repeating, you are busy begging. I don't call it spirituality. I call it begging. Begging for a mercy, begging for something miracle to happen, begging for something extraordinary experience will happen. Again, it is not coming from place of compassion or surrender. If your begging is coming from place of lack, it is not going to be it turns into a bhakti. Only time when you are totally surrendered and in that space you are open. At that time begging can transform you. But your begging is coming from a accumulation in the sense of lack because you think you need it or you don't have it, it will be very helpful for you. That will become a non-transformative, it will not transform you, will not be transformative for you. So, when you sit down into a practice, totally drop, zero expectation, and allow something new to happen inside you. If you're meditating, practicing anything, you are looking what somebody else have had it, you have not had it, you would like that to happen, you fix your mind to it. And now you think that it is happening to you. No, it is not happening to you. You are creating a story. You are creating a mental visual. You must drop that as well. Whatever have happened to somebody, it will never happen to you, I can guarantee you. Whatever have happened to you in something in the past, it can never happen again to you. Doesn't matter how hard you try. You can re-watch the recorded film in your mind, but you cannot recreate something twice because you have grown, your awareness have grown, your consciousness have grown, your senses cannot have same thing twice because there's already a inbuilt memory inside you, in your consciousness or unconscious part of it. So in future, when you practice, don't go in the future. Don't dwell on the past, or don't try to see something in the past, what you have heard, or even in the present where you say, okay, I'm present, fixated on the present. My friend, present also does not exist. Neither the past exists, nor the future exists. Only exists is you. When you are really aware, you have no idea that you are in a present moment. You are being present at that time. Either you are aware of the present, what your body experiences, you are not with the self. You are with the time. You are with the experience. That present also have to be dropped in order to transform yourself. Does it make sense to you? As long as you are practicing whatever your senses are experiencing, every present moment, you are being in the present. You are still objectifying yourself. You are still with the senses. You are not with you. You're still experiencing. Drop that too. Why do you need to label it what you are experiencing? Just a journey. So, not future, past, or present. Only thing experience is your awareness. When you drop all of it, you became a pure essence of you, pure essence of your inner unity. That we call it in yoga, yogi sattva. The essence of yoga will sprout inside you and your life will start transforming then. Then when you start practicing yoga, till then it's all preparation. Asanas you are doing, you are not practicing yoga. Meditation you are doing, you are not practicing yoga. When you have dropped everything, that's when your yoga begins. You start meditating, you feel a bit of quietness, clarity, start seeing like tingling light, maybe hearing ringing bells, maybe see sometime now and then color because you're watching too much TV, the flare to your eyes happen and you think, oh, I'm seeing Kundalini. Come on, my friend. You see Kundalini within 2 hours of meditation with 20 minutes of meditation practice? I don't think so. So, lots of things are imagination. It's something that transforms you, you can never go back. Remember that. You cannot go back. Your awareness cannot go back. Your senses may, your behavior may, but your awareness cannot. Your intelligence cannot go. Intelligence always expanding. Once you expand, can you retrieve it back? That's very hard. Is expansion have taken place? That's it. Once you got to know about expansion, you can retrieve it. But when you have expanded, it's very hard to retrieve backward. It is you cannot shrink your awareness. You cannot shrink your intelligence. But your intellect, you can draw your mind, you can draw your senses back. It's a different part of it. So, that is about how to be spiritual. You can choose which one you like to be. You can surround yourself by the spiritual people and feel that you are spiritual. You can even decorate yourself with them. It is basically you become an air of the seep in the crowd of spiritual people. Sorry to pardon my language, you might find it harsh, but it's the truth. And second one is like sometime you start practicing them, but not really implement inside. Third one, you start living, implementing. In that time, you don't actually need to be in that organization or any part of it. When you become spiritual, there is no need for to be anywhere. And the comment came from YouTube. What is it, Misal? Can you say? Post it, please. And the second part of how to do a anger control. Remember is you cannot control your anger. There is some resentment can cause anger. You can be very sweet person. There could be mental bipolarity. You lose your mind immediately with the, you can be very peaceful and next minute you just burst into the anger. That is a bipolar situation. Uncertainty, undecided. Something is deep down bothering you. Something is deep down is bothering you. You might be very spiritual, but still it can create an anger inside you. So you are a very sweet person, very loving person, very caring person, but very angry, frustrated with life or frustrated with yourself. Either the deep rooted emotion from parent, from childhood, or there is certain level of resentment, or you like to be something but you are not. So what you find, you less out on other people. So how to be around those people, how to help them, is only way you can help them. Don't tell them that you are being angry at that time. Accept them, that is their nature. Show them more love. Don't try to change them. Your acceptance will be changed for them. Don't try to find a moment of anger and they try, somebody is being angry, you tell them you be angry, they are going to get more angry. Let them be angry that time and find a moment when they are a bit more quiet and you talk to them. If somebody be angry and you try to go to that time, that person, you will burn yourself like a volcano exploded. And you want to go and tell volcano that you are hot lava, what's going to happen to you? You are going to get burned. You want to see a volcano, once anger is out, completely empty, you go and enjoy. Then tell volcano you were exploded. You were very hot. Anger. Or you can find a moment of communication. Choose a timing. If you want to really help them, find a right timing to communicate. And accept them. They are dealing with something very big inside, but they are having a lack of communication. Something you might know somebody for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years. You do not know them from childhood what have happened. And remember, 99.99% of people lie. When you are in the relationship, they lie. They don't tell you the truth, who they are, what happened to them, or what is happening to their life. They hold on to lots of information because that information is their identity. To let go that identity will transform them. They become vulnerable, and nobody likes to be vulnerable because they have been taken advantage of being vulnerable. So very hard for people to be vulnerable. So if you are in a relationship, somebody is angry, don't try to fight with them that time. Walk away. Accept them, their person is angry. Don't try to give your loving wisdom word to them. Leave them alone. Let them burn themselves. Then when they burn down, like when fire is burning, when you put water over it, what will happen? it becomes more uncomfortable for the fire. You let it burn. The fire burn down, you can pick it up by the hand. Becomes very light as well. It's more likely to listen to you as well. So, if you are in a relationship or have a friend or work colleague, and there was a question raised by somebody and about anger. But if that is the situation with you, accept them as they are. Develop more compassion towards the person, not judgment towards the person. More acceptance, more compassion towards person, and find a time to communicate. Allow them to open up. Don't tell them that you're being angry. Have a factual communication. Allow them to open up. I'm not asking you to become a psychologist for them. Don't do psychotherapy to them. They're already psycho enough. So accept them. Open up. If you're already in a relationship of love, try to give them love as much as you can. That will open up for them. So what you call it love is actually the personal interest of gratification. You feel each other's company pleasing. The love only happens to one, is only to you. You don't love anybody else apart from yourself. Remember that. The God inside you, the energy inside you, that's the only being you. The rest of them is you communicate. The rest of them, actually you feel a sense of pleasing aspect to it. Or love happens to the universal energy or the God, or whatever you can call it inside you. So there is a question, there is a saying that illusory separates identity, does not do anything to get enlightenment. Only the God or consciousness can know himself. So how the urge to know the God can be achieved by I? You cannot achieve it. You cannot achieve God. If you remember, that is the subject of ego. We say, I want to achieve God, I want to know God, this is all created illusion propaganda. Your self-desire is also inside you created to know the God. First, there is an illusion created around you and then tells you to find yourself. First they bury you and then tell you, please can you find yourself. That is the problem, my friend. Because God cannot be found. God cannot be achieved. Some people say God is actually a hoax. We call it a hypocrite word. Is that God exists but same time doesn't exist. People can say that too. But concern is, I think I talked about last time. Even when you achieve God, you will not know that you have achieved God. Because only one can exist. Either you can exist or God can exist. When you meet God, you no longer know that you have met God. You have become God. This is called transformation. You cannot be other than what you are. You are not achieving. You are transforming. Yoga is not unity. Yoga is a separation. This definition of yoga is totally wrong. Yoga is actually gives you awareness of your separation. When you can understand how separated you are from yourself, and that's when actually unity happens. Unity is actually an outcome. Unity is not a formation. Unity is not the process. Separation is the process of yoga. So, into your question, there is a saying that illusionary separate identity. I don't believe that you are illusion at all. You are a fact reality at present. There is nothing illusion or everything is illusion. Depend which place you are coming from. Does not do anything to get enlightened. Only the God or consciousness can know himself or herself. I have no idea God is male or female. So I call it itself. Or how the urge to know God can be achieved by I. That is, a urge is created by people because you are part of a system. The day I guarantee you a child who have never understood the concept of God will never have idea or a thinking that I need to achieve God. It is a created concept because you have been dumped so many things on top of you and it tells you you need to find a God. They take you into what do you call it, maze and tells you to, they drop you first and close all the gates and tells you, please, can you find your way out? I locked the door from outside. And if that is the situation, you can never find God. And nobody have found God yet. God is actually never should be interest of your life. Only interest of your life should be how can you be in a most loving, compassionate, kind in your actions as well as in your thinking. God should find you. You do not need to find God. Transform your thinking, transform your sense relationship and your ability of existence as you are in a human body. God should be looking for you. You do not need to find God because God never been lost. You cannot achieve God because they were not actually achievable because already was in their place in first place. So God cannot be achieved by I, my friend. I only can realize the I only can understand the I, which is basically the saying Aham Brahma Asmi. I am the absolute truth. So, or Tattvam Asi. There's the Shoktis and the Upanishads and a Shastras. So, I hope that makes any sense to you. If you have a question, Pankajji, come back again next week. William, I have an attachment which comes from my huge fear over what might happen to my mom and dad if they have been vaccinated. What is going to happen is going to happen. Vaccine have not taken place. You can't change it. You only have a choice, my friend. To have the vaccine, not have the vaccine. Sometime maybe you have no choice. Maybe the government will decide for you. Regarding your fear, what will happen to them, it is going to happen what is supposed to happen. You can't change it. You only can change what actually you can do about it. Would you choose to participate or not choose to participate in it? That's what will decide what will happen with them. At present, you should be happy because they haven't had vaccine yet. So you being worried about something that have not even happened. That's majority of the time. Sometimes people even worried about there is nothing to worry about. Have you heard that? You are worried about sometime because there is nothing to worry about. Your life is so peaceful and comfortable and loving. You go along making a mess because you want to feel yourself existed. That's the majority of the time case. You can be very happy, comfortable. Somebody comes along, you are not happy. I say, how do you know I'm not happy? They find a something to make you unhappy. Or at least they make themselves unhappy. I tell you a story of a centipede and a rabbit. Centipede and rabbit became a good friend. A rabbit have 4 legs. A centipede has so many legs. And centipede and rabbit said, how is your walk one day? He said, very good. Centipede perfectly walking every day. A rabbit goes past. Centipede asks, how was your walk? Oh, very exhausted. I run fast, in my four legs gives me hard time, and I sit down. A centipede said, rabbit asked centipede, how do you manage with so many legs? Which one should go in front? Are they not never get tired or get confused? I get confused sometimes. Centipede said, I never thought about it. Centipede asked answer to the rabbit, I never thought about it. I will think about it when I go for next time walk. Now centipede is thinking about her legs, which one to put forward. Centipede could not walk. And the way legs was getting wrapped around each other because there's too many legs there. And the rabbit came past again, asked centipede, how was the walk? Centipede said, I was walking perfectly fine till you make me aware of my legs. How do I cope with them? Now I could not walk properly today. And sometimes that is the problem for you, my friend. That is the point sometime in your life that you start thinking about how to be, like centipede, And there will be lots of people you will find. They will make you start questioning. Questioning is good, but creating fear inside you, maybe not. Building doubt inside you, maybe not. Try to build a trust, a confidence in you. Only way you can be broken, manipulated, create a hunger. The moment you get built a greed inside you, that is, greed is not yours, my friend. That gets created inside you. Somebody give it to you as a gift, and you love it so much, you want to have it more every day. Greed is not yours. Greed is given to you. Fear is not yours. That is also given to you. Lack is not yours. That is given to you. Competition is not yours. That is given to you. You don't have greed when you are a little child. You're not born with it. As you grow up, you see it, other people, you start copying it. That was the gift of existed humanity. So don't limit yourself. Keep growing every day. When you have opportunity to dip into a sea, don't stand by it. Dive into it. And don't be scared what will happen. When you're meditating, look inside. You'll find your fears. Accept them. Don't block them. Don't fight with them. Don't hide them away. Accept them. Your fears are your strength, not your enemy. Your fears are your strength, not your weakness, nor your enemy. They are your strength. But when you get fear, what you do? You want to run away from it. Accept it. That can become your transformation point. On that note, there was a question about attachment and acceptance. Maybe we leave that to next time. There was another question about what is the beauty, what is the essence of Bhakti Yoga, and how, I talked about how important past, present, future is. Does present exist? I said not exist at all. It is created. So on that note, everyone, thank you and hopefully see you very soon. Thank you everyone. You too. Namaste.